the legacy, and the humanity of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. First, I have to thank Dr. Bernice King and the entire King Center for sharing this invitation, because I'm a transplant to Atlanta. And I am that person that Dr. King dreamed of, and bringing together communities while he was fighting over in Alabama. He made a pathway for me to get here to Atlanta, Georgia. So on 404 Day, it is very fitting to sit here as your congresswoman and to pay tribute to just the opportunities that have been given to me in my life. On this day, y'all, 55 years ago, our country, and quite honestly, the world, experienced a deep and painful shockwave. The most prominent leader in the struggle for civil rights, a man who built a movement on the principles of equality, nonviolence, and love for all people, was taken away from us all too soon. And though violence in the civil rights movement was not new, the assassination of Dr. King showed us the depths of the hatred. The movement broadly was left in mourning the loss of a leader while grappling with continued anger over the evils of racism. But first, y'all, Dr. King was a father, a husband, a sibling, and a friend. In the midst of an outpouring of public grief, the King family navigated a personal journey at the intersections of loss and carrying forth a legacy that would change the course of our country for the better. Dr. King is the son of Atlanta who represents the very best of Atlanta. In my own journey as a public servant, I'm inspired daily by Dr. King's commitment to lead from a place of love, even today when we face the face of relentless hate. We've heard his words, and y'all, I have decided to stick with love. Hate is too great a burden to bear. Or darkness cannot drive out darkness, only light can do that. Hate cannot drive out hate. Only love can do that. Y'all, it is those words that should inspire us all in this day and time. And I'm reminded of the charge that Dr. Bernice King gave us during this year's Beloved Community Table Conversation commemorative service. She encouraged us to move beyond the quotable king to the livable king. Y'all, that's why we have to continue to commemorate this day, because there are a lot of people who love Dr. King on big holidays, Dr. King, but we have to move beyond that convenient and livable king so that we can get to a place where we're truly living out Dr. King's dream, and why we're sitting here 55 years later still commemorating this day. Thank you so much for all being co-conspirators for justice in this work to continue to live the legacy of Dr. King.
Thank you so much, Congresswoman. Up next, we will have a musical selection, The Greatness of You, performed by Latrice Pace.
Dr. King once said, when speaking about the strength to love, every time I look at the cross, I am reminded of the greatness of God and the redemptive power of Jesus Christ. I am reminded of the beauty of sacrificial love and the majesty of unswerving devotion to truth. Today I want to sing about that love. I want to sing of your love. I want to sing of your mercy. I want to tell the whole world of the greatness of you. So I sing of your love, oh Lord, and I'll sing of your mercy. Tell the whole world of the greatness of you. Jesus, we lift up your name. Jesus, we lift up your name. Oh, Jesus. love, Lord, love. That's how I'll sing of your mercy. I'll tell the whole world of the greatness of you.
Wow, amazing. Thank you so much again. That was The Greatness of You performed by Latrice Pace. Up next, we have our students tribute led by Creative Director Mrs. Connie F. Smith Lindsay.
My name is Anthony Plates Rivas, and I am a senior at Central Gwinnett High School. I will be attending Princeton University after high school graduation. As we gather on the 55th anniversary of the assassination of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., and as we stand here at the King Center, I am honored to greet you on behalf of my community. The theme this year is It Starts With Me, cultivating a beloved community mindset to transform unjust systems. I will focus on how education should be a tool to prepare us to live and to build the beloved community. Education can be defined as an enlightening experience. But what good is that enlightenment when it is only provided to those who make above a certain measure of wealth? The education system today falters. It stunts the knowledge of our youth and keeps alive the injustice of segregation, reinforcing systems that keep minority groups from success. But more than that, it is the way the system ignores the need for more resources for our students. Some students are unable to join clubs because they may not have any. Some students can't go to after-school tutoring because of teacher shortages. No resources are allocated for these issues. Coming from a school that has a large Hispanic population, I have seen how the system shuts out students who struggle to speak English, the most common language of America. They struggle to complete their assignments, to get good grades, and to pass their classes, all because there are not enough resources for programs such as ESOL, English to speakers of other languages. Education should not be divided. I am a student, and as Dr. King stood up for the sanitation workers and the crowd in Memphis, Tennessee on April 3rd, 1968, I am standing up for the equity in education. I believe Dr. King's words are encouraging us not to give up the fight to build equity in education for everyone, for Hispanic students and generations to come. In fact, I hope to grow from this injustice, to make it so that our youth can someday lead and make this world a better place by building the beloved community. Let us rise together to transform unjust systems and to create equitable ways for everyone. Thank you.
Hello. I am Chloe Green, a rising senior at Paideia School and a Girl Scout who's trying to make a change in the world. I've written a poem inspired by the words written here on the wall at the King Center and about the beloved community. The beloved community is a goal that can be accomplished through courage, determination, education, and commitment. It starts with me. I have to speak loud so those in the back can hear me. Can you hear me? Because I want to use my words to hopefully bring a ripple of change, like one stray ink blot on a page. I hope to stain your mind. We cannot get rid of injustice alone, so we must create our beloved community, a safe haven, our home. But before that, we must learn our history. Only when we touch the books and finally see with our eyes, we see the history that has passed by. At this stage, it is no longer black and white. It is distinguishing what is right. No more censoring passing laws that restrict what we can learn in schools. The children are our future. It's a phrase I've heard so many times, but how can we learn if we're not being taught? How can we learn to be open if we're separated by ignorance and prejudice? Without knowledge, we cannot understand. If we don't understand, then we cannot empathize. Just know, knowledge is what would make our beloved community a reality. Even though land and language may separate us, when we understand each other, the world is a better place. Nonviolence is the heart to create our beloved community. Principle 3 states, nonviolence seeks to defeat injustice, not people. We must eliminate the evils that separate us, poverty, racism, and war. We must learn to create our beloved community together. Thank you.
Grace and peace. I am St. Singleton, and I am a second-year student at Morris Brown College. I'm the former president of the NAACP DeKalb chapter in DeKalb County. The beloved community is a society where everyone can experience justice, equality, and love. According to Dr. Martin Luther King, the beloved community is a world in which poverty, racism, and violence are replaced by economic opportunity. Building communities where we uplift each other and no one is left behind, and using nonviolence and love for reconciliation. As beautiful and inspirational as the beloved community sounds, the unfortunate reality is justice has not rolled down like a mighty stream for all of God's children. Despite laws and other actions, we find ourselves today with marginalized communities still facing discrimination and injustices. Unjust systems are blocking some people from access to economic justice, which will enable Gen Z to gain access to jobs and resources so we can better ourselves and our communities. The one system that is a major concern for me and should be for our leaders is the alarming and excessive rate of incarcerated men of color. Michelle Alexander, author of the new Jim Crow Mass Incarceration in the Age of Colorblindness, states, the nature of criminal justice system has changed. It is no longer primarily concerned with the prevention and the punishment of crime, but rather with the management and the control of the dispossessed. The dispossessed are mostly black and brown men who look like me. And we must do something to address the unjust system so we can create the beloved community. A beloved community exposes the system that causes our brothers and sisters to be arrested for unfairly sentenced. But a beloved community ensures that no one is wrongly convicted, or after serving time there's equal access to jobs with livable wages and fair income and fair housing. A beloved community allows the global community to hear the bells of liberation for opportunities regardless of our history, our differences. Instead of choruses of no's and sorry, we can all one day say, free at last, free at last. Thank you.
My name is Morgan Miller, and I'm a sophomore at the Westminster Schools. I am also a member of the historic Ebenezer Baptist Church, where Dr. King served as co-pastor from 1960 to 1968. For this occasion of the 55th anniversary of the assassination of Dr. King, America's greatest freedom fighter, I will read my poem, We the People. We the people, in order to form a more perfect union, have come to the conclusion that between discrimination and persecution, the American dream is no more than an illusion, but it's beautiful nonetheless. The ideal by which equality of opportunity is available to any American, that statement still doesn't apply to the average black man. If you can, I implore you to think about where we are in history. How we wouldn't be here if not for Dr. King's life and legacy, for Mrs. Coretta Scott King's courage and bravery as activist, architect, and founder. It is thanks to them that we now protest safely yet adamantly against police brutality, against injustices that keep us from being free to be Americans. Their ideals are instilled in generations, like my grandmother, my mother, and now me. They understand the qualities that divide us can still be used to unite us, and now my generation helps carry the torch. It's a continuous struggle and a battle not yet won. The movement hasn't ended, only evolved, but I will run my part of the race, will do my best to extend grace, will teach my descendants the same, so that when our victory takes place, they can embrace the prize that is freedom and justice for all, that they too will stand here and say, we the people, in order to form a more perfect union, have come to the conclusion that so long as our communities believe in equity and inclusion, the American dream is more than an illusion. Thank you.
Thank you so much to each of you. Wonderful, wonderful job. That was amazing. Thank you so much for your words and the motivation that you have given all of us here today. Up next, we have the CEO of the King Center, the youngest daughter of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. and Mrs. Coretta Scott King, Reverend Dr. Bernice A. King.
Good afternoon, everyone. Before I say anything, I want to introduce some people because I always feel it is apropos for people to understand and know those who are part of the King family. And so I am honored today to have members of my family that have descended from Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Sr., Daddy King, who was my father's father, and Alberta Williams King, who was my father's mother. I first want to recognize Derek Barber King Sr., who is the son of Alfred Daniel King. Alfred Daniel King unfortunately left this earth 1 year and a few months after my father in a mysterious circumstance. He was found in his pool, did not drown, did not have water in his lungs. The mystery is still trying to be unraveled. But he is the oldest, not the oldest, because Al was the oldest. He is the son of A.D. King. His mother, who is the widow of A.D. King, Mrs. Naomi Barber King, is here with us today at 91 years of age, and we thank God for her. My aunt, Dr. Christine King Ferris, very much wanted to be here today. She is 95 on her way to 96 years of age. She is the only living member of my father's birth family, and we thank God that she is still with us along with Aunt Naomi. Dr. Christine King Ferris's daughter, Dr. Angela Ferris Watkins, is with us, a professor at Spelman College, and her daughter, the granddaughter of Dr. Christine King Ferris Watkins, is here with us today. Angela's brother, Isaac Ferris Sr., who is the oldest of Dr. Christine King Ferris, and Uncle Isaac Newton Ferris, he's here with us today. And then we have one of our cousins, and I don't like saying this, and I know this is not a good word, widow, Laurel Hill, our cousin Toussaint King Hill, Junior passed suddenly. I won't say suddenly, but to me it was suddenly just a few years ago. She is here with us today. So I want to thank all of them for being with us today. I also want to say we're in good hands. It seems a little turbulent and troubling right now, but I thank God for these young voices that were lifted today. Thank you so much, Micah, and all of you young people who shared your heart and your vision and hope for a world, and I know that you are going to align your life with what you spoke. 55 years ago, and I won't be but a second because this is a very difficult time for me. As I get older, I get a little more emotional about today. And if I might be very frank with everyone here today, I shared with some of my team that I'm empty. I've been doing a lot of speaking for the last 42 years of my life. I know that seems that I'm, young, but I just turned 60 7 days ago. And so I'm just going to say just a little bit because I need to. 55 years ago today, around 6:05 p.m. Central Time, 7:05 p.m. Atlanta time, my father's life was cut short by an assassin's bullet. He didn't die. What I mean by that? Many people, when they talk about that day, say Martin Luther King Jr. died. No, his life was cut short by an assassin's bullet that caused a cessation of his breath on this earth. But he didn't die. He transitioned to a higher realm. And the reason I think this world has not come apart is because the spirit of Dr. King has been dispersed and dispensed throughout this universe, just as the spirit of the one that we call in the Christian faith, Jesus the Christ, is dispensed throughout this world. But Jesus is the person that Dr. King was following and in alignment with. And everything that he poured out was to connect us back to Jesus and the mission of Jesus, which was to love in a way that no matter how difficult, challenging, ugly, fierce, mean, oppressive, exploitative people might be, we have the capacity in our love to transform people's minds and their lives and our circumstance. And so Dr. King may not physically be with us here today, but he still lives. He lives in and through this family. He lives in and through this institution and those who work with me here. He lives in and through many of you and those young people that are here today. But yes, we are in very turbulent and troubling times. And so although an assassin's bullet took his life, today I want to first stand in solidarity with the King Center, with those young people who have dared to leave school, walk out of school, and say we demand common sense, gun responsibility, and the banning of assault weapons. Now is the time to fulfill that particular legislation. And I want to encourage those who are doing that. Do as they did in Montgomery, Alabama. Don't let it just be one day of walkout. I dare you at some point to stay out of school until change comes. Because when young people stay out of school, regardless of the consequence, because they paid consequences in Montgomery, Alabama. Some lost jobs, some homes were risked, some lost lives, but they dared to sacrifice so that the change would come. And if we're going to change the state of this nation and in this world, we are in a season that requires that kind of sacrifice once again. So I'm challenging those of us who continue to stand up for things that are unjust in our society. We've got to be willing to make the extraordinary sacrifice. For as a young person reminded us, if we haven't found something worth dying for, that means if we haven't found something worth sacrificing, if that means if we haven't found something worth giving up, if we haven't found something worth risking, then why are we fit to really live, Dr. King sacrificed his very life. And so as I come to a close, as we remember this day, I want us to remember that Dr. King was a warrior of nonviolence and peace. And so I want to share these words with you in closing because I think they're so apropos and worth repeating. I spoke them on the west side of town. Now I speak them on the east side of town. My father was a warrior for peace, but we must understand for him, peace was not merely, true peace was not merely the absence of tension. It is the presence of justice. He reminded us that injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. This means that injustice anywhere is a threat to peace everywhere. Therefore, the work of peace that he endeavored upon is inextricably bound to the work of justice. You can't carry forth the legacy of Dr. King and not stand for justice, not work for justice, not prioritize justice. That's why we often hear the chants coming out of the streets, no justice, no peace. If we want to see peace in our world, in our nation, in our state, in this city, in the suites, and even in the streets, then we will have to commit to that work of justice, which means being inclusionary in every decision making. We are called upon to move beyond merely having aspirations about justice or recitations about peace, from the suites to the streets. Because as my father said, it does not take the sharpest eye sophistication to discern that while everybody is talking about peace has practically, and I would say justice has practically become nobody's business among the power wielders. Many of them cry peace, peace, but they refuse to do the things that make for peace. That's what Dr. King said. And so justice makes for true peace. Justice should become and must become front and center, Congresswoman, for in all that we do for peace to become a reality in the Kingian spirit. That means in the spirit of Dr. King, justice must be our first priority as we do business and set policy in our Congress and in our corporate sector and in our state houses and in our city councils and in our city halls and in our judicial chambers and in our courtrooms and in our correctional institutions, in our classrooms, in our transportation sectors, in our healthcare arenas, in our law enforcement agencies, in our banking and lending institutions, in our chambers of commerce and boards of trade, in our real estate industry. Indeed, justice must become a reality in every area of human life, even in our families and our relationships. For Daddy, justice means love. He said justice at its best is love, correcting everything that stands against love. And so as we as a family begin to prepare to lay this wreath, I want to remind you that Dr. King said on that last night in Memphis, Tennessee, don't stop here in Memphis. Maintain unity. He was in effect telling us, continue the movement. And so I want to remind you that we must be a movement for peace with justice, where everyone is treated with dignity and accorded respect. We must be a movement for peace with justice, where no one has to fear for their safety nor environmental devastation. We must be a movement for peace with justice, where no one lacks a livable wage, affordable housing, and access to affordable health care. We, collectively, each and every one of us, If you hear under hearing my voice, all of us must be a movement for peace with justice, where everyone has the freedom to prosper, the freedom to participate and have their voice not just heard, but be included as a part of how we govern, and the freedom to peacefully coexist, where we don't have to worry about little children and elderly people or any person being dying as a result of gun violence. For as my father said, we still have a choice today. Still have a choice today. It's a choice that each and every one of us have to make. And that is nonviolent coexistence or violent co-annihilation. My encouragement to each and every one of us is to choose nonviolence so that we can create the beloved community where injustice ceases and love prevails. If you want to know more about nonviolence, I invite you to log on to thekingcenter.org. Take our self-paced, self-learning, nonviolence 365 e-learning experience. Because we will not get to a more just, humane, equitable, and peaceful world unless we begin to employ the nonviolence that Dr. King embodied and taught. Because he taught it not just as a tactic to be used in the social justice movement. He taught it as a way of life. It's time for us to live nonviolence.
Thank you so much, Dr. King. Now we have a musical selection as we transition to the wreath laying. We will have Precious Lord performed by Mr. Morton Perry. So we are going to wait as the family transitions to the wreath laying portion as they give their thanks and they give their love, obviously, to Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. and Mrs. Coretta Scott King. So as they transition, we'll wait and we will remember with them when they arrive to the tomb.
Let us pray. God, we give you thanks for all that you do in our lives. More than often, you bless us far beyond what we deserve. First, we want to give you thanks for Martin Luther King Jr. I want to give you thanks for Coretta Scott King. Give you thanks for baby daughter Bernice and the work that she continues to do through her leadership at the King Center. But God, I'm asking you now to do some of that God stuff you do. Remind those of us under the sound of this amplified voice that Bernice King and her staff can't do it all by themselves. God, do some of that God stuff you do and pour out a spirit of conviction across every listening ear in this assembly. If we ever needed to believe and live in that energy that says peace on earth, we need it now. Those of us who have compassion in our hearts are weary of crying over the loss of innocent lives, be they young, old, whatever stage or station in life. We're tired of crying, God, we need you to challenge those of us in the listening ear of this amplified voice. Get up off of the seat of comfort and do nothingism. As John Lewis told us, when you see something, say something. Give us the courage, well up in us the courage to try to inaugurate peaceful coexistence on this planet. It's written in a sacred book. Swords be turned into plowshares and spears turned into pruning hooks, and people study war no more. The surface of this earth has been saturated with the blood of the innocent too long. We don't need any more Nashville. One speaker spoke earlier and said that it's time to take the assault weapons off the streets. We might not be able to get them all off the streets, but at least we can stop the sale of more. I stand here and keep on praying. But God, what I want you to do is everybody who is listening to this amplified voice, go away from this place, committed to making sure that people learn how to live together as brothers and sisters and take away the risk of us dying together as fools. Well, God, I can pray all I can pray for this one. And now, dismiss us from each other, but never from you. And now, unto him who is able to dispel any effort of violence one man to another, unto him who is able to deliver us spotless, faultless, unto him be all glory, honor, majesty, dominion, and power this day, now, and forevermore. And all of God's children get ready to sing, we shall overcome. Here's the song that we all been singing for over 55 years or more. Will you stand on your feet with us as we all sing together? We shall overcome. We shall overcome. We shall overcome someday. I want to say, deep in my heart, I do believe that we shall overcome someday. Now, I know you got it. Everybody, help us sing it together. We shall overcome. We shall overcome. We shall. We shall. Thank you.
I work for Channel 11. Nah, I'm sorry. Any numbers? No.
Right here. Eyes on me. 1, 2.